For centuries, the Native Americans, the Indians, or Red Indians as they have been called in Europe since the time of Christopher Columbus, have lived in harmony with Mother Earth. In their view, man is just a tiny part of living creation. It is not for him to be nature's exploiter, but rather its guardian. With the conquest of the Wild West by the white man, the indigenous peoples were almost exterminated or forced to settle in reservations. The deep wounds this caused have hardly healed yet.
When we take a look at the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in 1996, one of the big glaring ideas that jump out right at you is that we have an 88% unemployment. That means like 9 out of 10 people are not working. And they also take a look at the other statistics. It's the poorest county in the United States, $3,200 a year as a living condition. Men die at the age of 45. Women die at the age of 55. We have tremendous problems with diabetes. Almost like 44% of the total population of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is suffering from diabetes.
Despite the disastrous situation on the reservations, new hope seems to be budding. Today, many are remembering the traditional knowledge of their ancestors, knowledge of immediate, dramatic importance in view of the ecological crisis our planet faces. Mother Earth has a fever, and man can only help by taking on at last his global responsibility. These urgent warnings are being stated openly, and action is being taken. Arvol Looking Horse is keeper of the central sanctuary of the Lakota, the white buffalo calf pipe. In 1996, he called upon his people to join the Unity Ride, a 2-month ride from Saskatchewan, Canada, to Wyoming in the United States. On the ancient trails of their ancestors, they were to find their way back through ceremonies and prayers to the ageless paths of the Great Spirit. The 2,000-kilometer ride, beset by wind, weather, and privation, is a long, silent prayer for the survival of Mother Earth. The destination of the Unity Ride was Greyhorn Butte in the Black Hills of Wyoming, one of the holiest ritual sites of the North American Prairie Indians. On June 21st, the summer solstice, which the indigenous peoples had proclaimed World Peace and Prayer Day, a ceremony for global healing was to be held. Arvol Licking Horse had asked many nations in other parts of the earth to pray or meditate at the same time on that day.
Last year at Six Nations we had a conference called Cry of the Eagle, and we brought spiritual elders in from all over the world, and they talked about their prophecies and told individual things that were happening in their communities. And the thing that they agreed on unanimously was that the changes are very close, and we're seeing signs, especially with the white buffalo being born, and the agony that our Mother Earth is in.
The ceremony at Devil's Tower, the name later given to the holy mountain by the whites, was attended by some 3,000 people from all tribes and nations. Even the Dalai Lama sent a representative. Parts of the national park area were closed off. Neither filming nor photographing was permitted.
We're asking all people in a humble way to pray on June 21st. In this way, a way of life where there's no ending, no beginning. Homitakwasi.
The circle of life embracing all the peoples of the earth, a circle broken by war and violence, was to be made whole by the peace ceremony and become the gateway to the future for all mankind.
Creator has created 4 different colors of people: the red, white, the yellow, and the black. So they have to work together. The Creator said that. In His mind, He dwells in us. He says, think right, get along together. You'll be very colorful in years to come. You'll be like the rainbow. When you get up in the morning in a rainstorm or any type of the condition of the weather is, you see a rainbow color. That'll be you. That's the way you have to work together. Be a mixture of beautiness.
The next day, a small group gathered for a ceremony of thanksgiving for the past 2 months. One of the invited speakers was the Secretary General of the Organization for Non-Represented Peoples.
The prayer took place yesterday at a time that is, I think, crucial in that we're at a crossroads on this planet. We're at a crossroads in a number of ways. There's a crisis in relations between states or governments and their peoples. There's a desire for a new sense of direction. And for the first time, there is a beginning of realization that we abuse Mother Earth. And all these things mean, or could mean, that we change direction as human beings, or, of course, being on the crossroads doesn't necessarily mean that we choose the right direction.
I know that there's hope. Either way, things are going to turn out. Things always turn out the way they need to anyway. And every crisis, every challenge, every problem that we've ever encountered is for our own learning. And this is a big one. This is a big one for us. And it's a great honor to be part of the solution. And that's why I'm here. I want to be part of the solution.
Lakota, as we always say, let's look and act in the eyes of the 7th generation. You know, how my actions, what I'm doing here today, is going to affect the seventh generation from today. And I believe that that's a vision that can be shared by all societies. And once we start to realize that we are not alone, we are not alone, because wherever we walk, we always walk in the eyes of the seventh generation.